I still think that for me, the initial case behind the balancing, checking your balance on your mobile device, had such a kind of clean business reasoning behind it. Because if you think about it, kind of historically, when you go to your banking app, the bank does know that you're logging in, but you could go in 10 times and pick an item that sits 4 levels deep in your menu options, or you could go look at certain things, and they've never taken that opportunity and really acted on it. And many banks have not done that. If you think of in the telco world, when the exercise was done to understand the ratio of people checking their balances versus buying bundles or prepaid items or whatever it might be, there was a disproportionate number of people checking balances throughout a day, even if they've got a very tiny balance on their account. So that means that you can leverage that inbound message and make sure that you get to know the person, including what you're going to offer them next. So if you have to take kind of an economic value on that and you look at its lifetime value, if a person checks their balance 3 or 4 times a day and their balance on their prepaid account or the available credits sit at like say €10 or $20, whatever the amount might be that's sitting there, and you offer them something that is more than the amount that they have available in their wallet, for you to offer them, say, an OTT service. Let's say that you want to sell them a matchmaking service like Tinder, or you want to sell them a video service, or you want to sell them access to tickets to a sports game, or whatever the 300 and something odd OTT services that a company like Vodafone or any of those telco providers sell to its clients. Historically, what used to happen is that you had to wait for the client to come and buy it from you when they look at a billboard or look at some kind of social media based marketing. But if a person comes in and checks their balance, that person is engaged on that device at that moment. You pick up their account, if they have got a contract with you, what their situation is, how much money sits in their wallet, a lot about that person's kind of history of buying from you, and you in real time can then present them with an offer that's specific to them. So we definitely have seen that case on its own has created large scale, changes in how clients consume those products, because you can do it, so on point and in time, and especially if you have a customer lifetime value in mind, because what you do is you offer them based on what they have in their wallet. If their wallet is empty and the balance is nothing, then you want to sell them something to first top up their balance before you start selling them the OTT. So your product hierarchy and your options and how you expose those contextually become incredibly important, because you don't want to go sell somebody a service that is not really useful if they don't even have access to the data point. So you want to make sure that you stagger those. So that example clearly shows that if you know that there's an engagement with you. In a banking context, if you go check your balance the whole time, ideally what you should do is the moment the person goes into their account and they don't perform any useful action, that's kind of the equivalent to a balance check. And 99% of the banks around the world do nothing about that. So you really want to act on something that's quite specific. If you look at companies like, local banks in the context of like the South African, or local banks in the context of like a city where you're at, that local bank to your region should know enough about you historically to service you far better than treating you just as kind of like a mindless consumer. So the idea is that if you're in a city and your bank has done a deal with, say, Uber or some other company, and they know that you have got a lot of spending in that space, they can help to get specials for you to continue to use them, so that you can get retention and other kind of capabilities built on top of that. So, and all of those are real time. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's a way to think about it.